Hello guys, Softony here and I'm back with a brand new tutorial, and today we're creating a powerful daily news intro in After Effects, all from scratch and with no plugins required. Whether you're working on a YouTube channel, a news opener, or just want to boost your motion graphic skills, this one is for you. So make sure to like, subscribe, and let's get started! Alright guys, here we are in After Effects, and first let's create as usual new composition. Hit here or on this little icon to create new composition, and for me this is gonna be slide 01 9020 by 1080 30 fps, and in this case I will do duration to around 4 seconds. Hit OK, and first step that we're gonna do here in this new composition is to create solid layer, solid background. Go right click to create new solid, and this is gonna be scene background, PG, also full HD, and then hit OK. Now let's go here inside the effects and presets and type fill effect, and if you can't find this option, just go window, you will find, and just click here on this option effects and presets. Now let's go back here and type fill effect, drag and drop onto our background, and for me I will do this hexa code, and also if you want to use exact color like me, just hit here FF 20 and 20, and we will get this bright red color as our background color. Now hit OK, and for the next step I will create big text, big scene text. Hit Ctrl+T or hit on this little icon, and I'm using this Bebas Noi font. For the font size, let's go to maximum, maybe to around 1296. You can also use different fonts, it's up to you, and I will type here news. Now for this news I will just hit S and I will do 125 just to make it a little bit bigger. Hit here again and make sure that our paragraph is center text here, and go to also align and center it here and here. And if you can find those two options, those two panels, align and paragraph, just go window, you will find align here, and also you will find paragraph here. Now let's animate our big news text. Hit P for position or open up this little triangle and find position here and set up our playhead to around 0 seconds, and let's hit on this stopwatch. I will go to around 4 seconds, but before that here at 0 frames, let's move this one to the left side a bit like so, and then let's go to around 4 seconds, and I will just make this easy animation. Now I will hit 0 here in our slide 01 composition, and this is gonna be our base animation. Now select this news text, go here back in the effects and presets, find fill effect again, and I will also change this red color. Let's type here D8, D8 and D8, and this is gonna be this type of gray color. Now let's hit OK, and for the next step let's create here our main text. Make sure to turn off visibility for this big news text so we won't affect it. OK, now let's hit Ctrl+T once again and find here horizontal type tool, and this is gonna be also news, and let's make this smaller. I will do maybe 400 as a font size, and also make sure that our text is centered here inside the paragraph. So our animation later on will be from the center, and also align it here to the center of our slide 01 composition, and you can now turn on visibility for this big news text. Now we will also animate our news text, but before that let's create background for the text. Let's go right click, and this is gonna be solid, and I will rename it text BG, also full HD, and then we will create mask from this solid layer. Now hit OK, move this one below, and you can find here this option, rectangle tool, or just hit Q on your keyboard. Select this text background, this solid layer, and just create a mask for this cool news text. And as you can see, we have created the mask. If you're not satisfied with your mask, you can always go and click here. Now hit V on your keyboard and just double click on the mask and move it to the left or right, up and down, it's up to you. This looks good to me, and now let's animate our news to text. Open up this little triangle, go on animate and find here tracking option. And for the tracking amount, let's go to maybe minus 180 or so, somewhere around here. And then let's go also here on add option, find property, and I will also find opacity. Now let's open up this range selector one and set up our playhead to around 0 seconds, and we will animate offset. Let's go for the offset -100 and set up our first keyframe, and then let's go to around maybe 1 second and 10 frames or so, and I will go to around 100. Now let's open up this advanced option, change from square to ramp up, and also for the ease high I will type 50. And now for the last step, let's lower down opacity that we have added before to 0%, and now let's hit 0. And as you can see, our news text is looking cool. Now select both of the keyframes, go right click, keyframe assistant, and find here easy ease, or just hit F9 on your keyboard. Now let's hit this graph editor, and if you can't see curve like this one, go right click and just check this option, edit speed graph. Now grab this right handle and draw a shape like this one. And now when we hit 0, this is gonna be our great looking news text animation. Alright guys, now it's time to also animate our text background. Hit Y on your keyboard or go hit on this icon here, pan behind, and just grab this anchor point and move it all the way to the left side, and this left side will be beginning of our animation. Now hit S for scaling or go hit on this little triangle, open up transform and find scale. Uncheck this option uniform scaling, set up our playhead also to 0 frames, and also let's create our first keyframe. Now let's go also to around maybe 1 second or 1 second and 10 frames. Let's try 1 second. And also I will create another keyframe for the scale, and we have forgotten for this first one, let's go to 0. And now as you can see, this is gonna be our cool looking background text animation. Now let's also adjust this animation, select both of the keyframes, hit F9, go to graph editor, and let's draw the curve like before. Now let's hit 0 once again, and our animation is looking stunning. And also if you want to make sure that your news text is always inside this text box, hit Ctrl+D and just rename this new solid layer as a text matte, like so, and find here for the track mattes alpha matte, and our text animation will be always inside this text box. Alright guys, now it's time to also create third text here inside slide 01 composition. I'll just turn off visibility for this news 2 text and this news big one. Okay, now hit Ctrl+T again, and I'll just type here random text. This is gonna be opener, and for the font size I will do 80 for this Babasnoy font. Okay, and just go here inside the align panel and center it, and make sure also to go inside paragraph and do this center text option. Now let's select this opener text, move it a bit down. Okay, now you can turn on visibility for the news 2 and big news text. Okay, and now we will also create background for this opener text. I'll just hit Ctrl+D on this text background, and this is gonna be text background 2. I'll just rename it like so, and you can also use arrows to move it down a bit, and just select it again, hit V on your keyboard and just select mask and adjust it according your text size. And this is looking cool to me. Now let's hit 0, and also as you can see that our smaller mask is also fit here with our opener text. Now let's animate our opener text. Open up this little triangle, go on animate and find here opacity. And for the opacity I will lower down to 0, open up this range selector and set up our first keyframe for the start. Let's go to around 1 second and let's go to 100. Now let's also go here on animate again and find tracking, and let's go again here at 0 seconds, and for the tracking amount set up the also first keyframe here at 0 seconds, and let's go to around 1 second, and let's expand this number to around maybe 90 or 95, somewhere around here, and this looks cool to me. Now let's also select 2 keyframes for the tracking amount, hit F9 on your keyboard, go inside the graph editor, draw a curve like before, and now let's hit 0 once again, and also our opener text is looking great. Also, if you want to use opposite animation of our opener background, just hit on this text background tool, go here on this option, pan behind, And let's move this icon all the way to the right side, and now beginning of this animation will be from this right to the left side. And now when we hit 0, we will see an animation like this one. And also, like before, if you want that our opener text is inside this text box, just hit Ctrl+D and rename this one. This is gonna be text to matte. And just for the second text, find here track matte, also alpha matte. And now when we hit 0, our opener text animation will be here inside this text box. And this looks awesome. Alright guys, now let's also create solid lines here inside Slide 01 composition. Go right click to create new solid layer again. And this is gonna be solid line 01, also full HD. Now we will also create masks, hit OK. And for this solid line 1, go here inside this option, left mouse click, find here rectangle tool, make sure to select it and just create a mask, maybe something like this. Now let's go back here in the effects and presets, find fill effect, drag and drop onto our solid line 1, okay. And you can also use eyedropper and maybe to grab this color and also select it here, move above this news text. And now we will animate this solid line 1. Go here at 0 seconds, hit P4 position, set up our first keyframe and move it maybe to the left side. Now let's go to around 4 seconds or so and move it to the right a bit. And now when we hit 0, we will also have this moving line inside our Slide 01 composition. Maybe to move it faster, go to around 3 seconds or so, hit 0, and this looks awesome. Now let's duplicate this once, maybe reposition here inside the Slide 01 composition, hit M for mask, select it here and just double click on the mask, make this one smaller. You can also change colors, maybe a different shade of this gray color, something like this, hit OK. Now let's hit 0 in the finals, and this is gonna be our first and second animation. I will hit Ctrl+D once again. This is gonna be third one. Let's rename this one. This is gonna be second one, and this is gonna be third one. And here we will do opposite animation. For this third one, hit U to show both of the keyframes, and for the first keyframe, I will go all the way to the right side now. You can use J and K on your keyboard, and we can jump on the second keyframe and move it all the way to the left side. Now let's hit 0 once again. We have these cool looking lines in our Slide 01 composition. Also you can change color, play around with different shades, and maybe to do this white color. Hit OK, hit 0 once again, and this looks awesome. You can also add here easy ease, but I will leave this to you to play around with. Alright guys, now let's also create circles here inside this Slide 01 composition. Go here again on this option, rectangle tool, hold left mouse click, and then select this option, ellipse tool, and I'm using this stroke to 5 pixels, fill select to none, and also make sure to unselect everything here inside this Slide 01 composition. You can now turn on titles and action save, and just hold on your keyboard Ctrl, Shift and Alt to draw a perfect circle, like so. And this is gonna be our first shape, and let's rename it. This is gonna be circle 1, okay, and this looks nice. Now let's go here on add and find trim paths option. Go here at 0 seconds, we will animate trim paths, and let's set up our first keyframe for the start. And let's go to around 3 seconds, and let's go 100. And now let's hit 0 to see our animation, and this looks great. Now let's duplicate this circle 01, hit Ctrl+D, hit U to show all of the keyframes, and now I will just hit on this stopwatch, go here at 0 frames to remove previous keyframes. Now let's open up this little triangle, find here again trim path options, and now we will animate this end parameter, set up the first keyframe and leave it to 100%. And let's go to around maybe 3 or 4 seconds, it's up to you. And now go to 0, we will have opposite circle animation. Now let's also hit S for scaling, and instead of 100 I will go to around 70%. Now let's hit 0 once again, and this looks great. You can also play around here with different blending modes, select them, change here to maybe overlay, Now we will hit 0 once again, and this is gonna be our cool looking animation. Alright guys, here for the final step, let's make this one even better looking. Go right click, find here new solid layer, and I'll just rename this one to maybe balls 9020 by 1080, hit OK. Again, find fill effect, drag and drop, and now let's leave it to red color, and I will add here ball action effect, drag and drop, and maybe for the scatter I will do 1000, and for the grid spacing let's try maybe 40, and also for the ball size I will do 50. And let's also move this fill effect below the ball action effect, and this looks great. Now let's change blending mode from normal to overlay. Let's duplicate this for a few times, and this is looking great. You can also animate here rotation, twist, angle, but I will also leave this option to you. And you can also turn off visibility for one of the layers, whatever you prefer. Alright guys, this was our first slide, and now it's time to create another one. I will close this effects control for now, and let's go here in the project window and duplicate this slide 01, go edit and then duplicate or hit Ctrl+D, and we will also create final composition. Hit here on this little icon, and I will type here final composition 9020 by 1080, 30 fps, and duration 10 seconds long. Now hit OK, and I will close this slide 01 comp for now, and drag and drop this slide 01 from the project window here inside the final, and let's also drag and drop this slide 01 inside here final composition. Readjust here inside this final. I will go for the slide 02, maybe to around 1.5 seconds. You can also change colors of our compositions. Just go right click and change whatever color you want here. Okay, now let's go here inside slide 02, and this is completely different composition, and you will be able to change everything here, and changes won't be made here inside slide 01. Okay, I'll just type here random text for this, maybe news. I will type daily. Okay, and instead of this opener text I will type maybe intro, and you are also free to reposition everything here. Hit U, for example this tracking amount, and this is gonna be 96 for this first text, and I will change it maybe to expand a little bit to around 130 or so. Let's hit 0, and this is gonna be daily intro, and you are also always free to play around with all of those options. Okay, now when we go here in the final composition, this is gonna be our first slide, and here is our second slide, and here is different text. Now let's go back here inside slide 02 compositions, and let's create new adjustment layer. This is gonna be lens flare. Let's add some flares to make this scene even better looking. Go here inside the effects and presets. Let's type lens flare effect. Also drag and drop onto adjustment layer. I will just move this one to the left side a bit. You are also free to play around and change everything here. Now let's also add here some particles. Go right click, find here solid layer, and I will rename this one star burst. Okay, also full HD, hit OK. Go in the effects and presets and find CC star burst effect. Drag and drop. Okay, let's also add fill color. Drag and drop onto our star burst effect. Move this fill effect above starburst effect, and basically it's up to you to play around with the colors. You can leave it black color or white color, it's up to you. And for the starburst scatter I will go to around maybe 400 or so, and for the speed let's lower down to maybe 0.15 or so, and also you can play around with the size, grid spacing, and everything else. Also check out here blending modes, it's up to you to play around here with everything. And now guys, as you can see here inside slide 02, we have this cool looking tiny particles, and this looks amazing. Alright guys, now let's create sphere here inside slide 02, but before that let's select this text background all the way up to text to matte, hit P for position, and move everything to the right side, somewhere around here. Okay, here in this place we will create sphere. Okay. Let's go right click to create new solid layer again, and this is gonna be sphere, also full HD 9020 by 1080, and let's also go here inside the effects and presets, and first effect that I'm gonna use is grid effect. This one, drag and drop onto our new solid, and also for the second effect let's type CC sphere effect, drag and drop like so, and here let's make further adjustments. Here for the grid, change size from corner point to width and height sliders. And let's also change width. This is gonna be 15 for me. And for the second option, height, I will do 50. Also check this option invert grid, so we have look like this. And also for the radius, I will go maybe 210 here inside sphere effect, open up this rotation option. And for the X rotation, I will do maybe around 40. You can also leave it to 0, it's up to you. And for the Z rotation, I will do 70. Now let's also hit P for position for this sphere solid layer, or go inside this little triangle, find here transform, and find here also position, and move this sphere all the way to the left side. You can also place it down a bit. It's up to you, as I have already said. And now let's animate this set rotation. Go here at 0 seconds and set up the first keyframe. Then let's go to around 4 seconds and I will type here 1. Now we will hit 0 inside the slide 02 camp and our sphere is looking amazing. Okay, now let's go back here inside final composition, our slide 01, and this is gonna be our slide 02. And also guys, for the final step we will be creating transitions, decorations and everything else. You can bring this intro to the highest level. Okay, go right click to create new adjustment layer again, and for the name I will do motion tile. Okay, and select this adjustment layer, go back here inside the effects and presets and find motion tile effect and drag and drop onto the scene. Let's make this adjustment layer smaller, maybe just 1 second or even smaller, maybe half second, like so. And also I will add here transform effect. This one also drag and drop onto this motion tile adjustment layer. And here for the scale, let's lower this down to around 35 or so. And for the output width and height, let's expand it to around 300. And also for the height, let's do the same. And now when we hit 0, we have this multiple news opener, and this is looking great. Alright guys, now let's add more adjustment layers here in the scene. I'll just duplicate this motion tile, hit Ctrl+D, and I'll rename this one. This is gonna be Find Edges effect, okay. And now go here inside the effects and presets, and I will type Find Edges effect, drag and drop also onto our adjustment layer, okay. And basically you can reposition this Find Edges layer to wherever you want. I will go maybe somewhere around here just to show you this technique. Okay, and for the transform I will type reset. Now scale is again 100, and what I like to do is to check this option invert here inside the find edges effect. Okay, and now when we hit 0 we have a bunch of different variation and this is looking great. And let's also add more adjustment layers. I will hit Ctrl+D once again and I'm gonna rename it invert. Okay, select this again, go back here in the effects and presets. I will type invert effect, also drag and drop onto this new adjustment layer. You can also reposition and make it larger or smaller, it's up to you. Now I will delete this find edges effect, and basically what we have gotten is this cool looking invert option. You can also play around here with the scale, for example something like this, and maybe to move this to the left or to the right side. It's up to you, maybe to scale it a bit more and readjust it according to your needs. Now let's hit 0 once again, and this is looking great. Alright guys, this is the way so you can easily create this daily intro, news intro. You can easily also create new slides. Just duplicate it here and import it here inside the final composition. You can reposition everything. Also you can duplicate adjustment layers as many times as you want, so you will get your own final results. And also guys, if you found this video helpful, please hit that like button, and also if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, just hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell notification so you never miss any of my upcoming video tutorials. Also, if you like the graphics that I use in my videos, just check the links down below in the description so you can download it. And you can also guys leave me a comment down below in the comment section and take a look at my channel for more great tutorials. And until next time, stay creative and bye bye.